Sherry Papini's husband, who stood by her side for years, filing for divorce after the mother of two admitted to faking her 2016 kidnapping and hiding out with a former boyfriend.
Keith's shaken by the injuries Sherry said were inflicted on her by two Hispanic women who she claimed abducted her at gunpoint.
Keith Papini also states the kids have since learned their mother lied about her disappearance and haven't seen her since April 4th.
This video contains the polygraph of a man who was initially suspected in his wife's disappearance. When Keith Papini arrived home from work on November 2nd, 2016, he expected to find his wife and two children ready to have dinner, just like every other day. No one answered his greeting, and going through the house, he saw that no one was there, which was strange, since his wife Sherry's car was parked in its spot out front. Papini checked outside, still not seeing anyone. Starting to become concerned, he called the daycare and discovered that his children had not been picked up. He tracked his wife's phone and found it lying near the mailboxes with her headphones. This made him believe that she had been kidnapped. The truth would be even more stunning. Sherry Papini had faked her own kidnapping to spend several weeks with a former boyfriend, James Reyes. During that time, in an attempt to make her story realistic, she lost weight and branded herself. On Thanksgiving Day, she reappeared on the side of a road 150 miles away from her home, still in restraints. Sherry Papini claimed that she had been kidnapped and held by two Hispanic women. Papini was found with both male and female DNA on her, neither of which matched her or her husband. The FBI ran the samples through the combined DNA index system, CODIS, and found no matches. In March 2022, it was reported that DNA found on her clothing matched that of her ex-boyfriend, who then admitted that she had been staying with him.
This is Chad Russell. This is Keith. Chad, good to meet you, man. Really?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Probably a Calvin Klein billboard or something like that.
Yeah. I take stuff out of my pocket. I don't know.
No. Yeah, you know what?
I just saw that and I didn't want to have this.
No, you're fine. In fact, if you don't mind, if you have cell phones, if you could just turn those off.
Yeah.
Not even on vibrate. I don't want them going out the middle of the test or anything like that. And then Keith, as I'm sure Detective Wallace probably already told you, he's got some other stuff that he's going to leave and follow up on while we're doing this. But okay, but before he leaves, I just go ahead and have a seat. I just want to cover just a couple administrative things with you real quick. All right?
Cool.
First off, I'm sure as Kyle has told you, you're not a suspect. It's okay.
Papini, as the spouse, was the initial suspect. Even when he was ruled out, he was still treated as completely innocent, just in case he instigated the kidnapping in such a way that the police hadn't discovered.
The reason that we do this is to get in front of these kind of things. So this is kind of taking national attention now. And one of the questions that always comes up is, well, has he taken the polygraph test? Have you cleared the husband? Because movies like Gone Girl and stuff like that come out. And the first thing everybody wants to point at is the spouse, right?
And I've been telling people if I was sitting at home and I had no idea, I'd probably be like, hey, it was the guy.
Right. So I just I appreciate you coming in today and just explain that, we're not asking you to take this because we think you had anything to do with it. We're asking you to take it because we don't think you had anything to do with it.
From the beginning, Papini was open and transparent and made the offer to take the polygraph without being asked. Still, plenty of guilty spouses have done the same in the past. If you haven't already, take a look at my Patreon page for exclusive and ad-free content, including this interrogation video, where we dive into the twisted tale of a woman who falsely claimed a scandalous affair with Chris Watts, driven by her desperate desire for fame and recognition. Witness the lengths some individuals go to for their shot at notoriety. You can watch this story and more at patreon.com/strangerstoriesplus.
I'm all for that. I think 4 days ago I offered.
Yeah. So, but what I want to go over while Detective Wallace is still here is just, this is your polygraph agreement form. I'm going to read this to you word for word, but afterwards you're welcome to read it over yourself. Right? Okay. It just says, and I'm going to have you fill in your name here, do hereby voluntarily consent to be examined by the polygraph detection and deception technique. I am in good health and know of no reason why I cannot proceed with this polygraph examination. I've had the detail of this examination explained to my satisfaction and voluntarily give my permission for the necessary polygraph accessories to be attached to my body. I further understand that I have the right to refuse to answer any question if my answer to that question would tend to incriminate or degrade me. If I start this examination and may stop at any time, the test may be audio taped and may or may not be videotaped. I have read this agreement form and completely and fully understand its contents. Keith, do you understand all that?
I do. This is a sidebar question.
Sure.
I'm going to answer every question you give me.
Yeah.
I find that sentence to be weird. How can somebody not answer the question? Like, isn't that the whole point that you're here?
Well, it is, but the main thing we're trying to get across to you, Keith, is that this is completely voluntary. Okay.
Oh, it is.
You can stand up and leave at any time. Although the door is going to be closed for noise reasons, it's going to remain unlocked, and you're welcome to leave here at any time.
Is that the normal procedure
Yeah.
for the dirtbag? It seems like he
This
doesn't.
is
I thought that was the whole point. You're supposed to answer.
Even a dirtbag doesn't, like we said, nobody has to talk to us ever.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the same waiver for everybody. All right. So the main thing we're trying to get across is this is completely voluntary. We appreciate you doing it, but you're welcome to leave at any point in time, and you don't have to answer any of my questions if you want. That's going to make for a very short test.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll answer. I'm gonna answer.
So do me a favor, feel free to read this over again. If you agree with everything, print your name right here. Feel free to read everything over. And then do me a favor, sign right here, put the date and time right there for me. And this is kind of a soft thing, so try not to stay up too much.
Every day lasts, a minute lasts forever for me, so I have no idea what time it is.
Yep.
I thought it was Saturday for the longest time the other day.
Right.
I mean, is it Monday?
11:10. Yeah, it is Monday. So it's going to be Monday, November 7th, the day before your new president gets picked.
Keith's wife went missing on November 2nd. This test took place 2 weeks before she returned.
November 7th. So either 11/7, November 7th, however you write that. And then the time, just go with 11:10. And then take that back from it, and then take a roll. So if you go right down there at the bottom.
And I don't know if this question is directed to you or for you. I'm not on Facebook. I've never been on Facebook. I'm not on all these things. And people are writing stuff. People are writing some, good stuff, mean stuff. Mostly all good. Certain family members like, you need to have somebody come out with a statement saying it wasn't you or something. I'm pretty sure they did, but not in those direct words. After all of this, will that be a statement saying Keith has gone through a polygraph? I don't really care. I don't care about those people, but is that something? Maybe we talk later about that. But
We'll probably talk later about it. Eventually that's going to come out.
okay.
That's not, we don't want to stand on our horse about that because it's just not.
The most police will do is state that Papini is not suspected at this time. Until they have a better picture of what happened, they will not clear him completely.
Doesn't help anything.
Yeah, like I said, like the media is a beast, and we just feed it to appease it.
Yeah.
So that will be a decision that will be made way above my head.
One thing I've
like
seen.
Fox News called, CNN called, and I was like, oh, gee.
One thing I saw in the article that came out yesterday was that the sheriff's department did state that you were not a suspect.
They said that,
So-
but then I guess I didn't like the wording because they were like, at this point, and you explained it, so sorry, I'm going back and forth, but they were like, we don't know if she's been abducted or not. I'm like, that's exactly what happened, but you already explained it, sorry, I didn't want to hold it up.
That's okay. So, do you have any questions for Detective Wallace before he takes off?
No, I think he knows where I'm at. I just want to make sure that I did everything that I could. It has nothing to do with this. Good. If this is going to take a while, I think we should probably do that.
Yeah, no, let's do that first for sure. Because it will
It's like
take a
walk
while.
to the airport, I'm taking back to my mental well.
Yeah, or at least not get hotter. Because when we first walked in, it was pretty warm. Yeah. And Keith, like I said, I'm closing this door, but that's just for noise purposes.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
We don't need everybody or anybody hearing everything that we're talking about. Keith, first off, let me tell you how sorry I am that you're having to go through this right now. Regardless of, obviously we're going to have to talk about some upsetting stuff here for the next couple hours. All right. So, I apologize ahead of time, but please understand that it's for a good reason that we're doing it. Okay. So, just a couple administrative questions real quick. Keith, how many hours sleep did you get last night? 7. Is that about how much you usually get?
Last night, 7. But, like a normally?
Yeah.
Like prior to all this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I say that because the previous couple days,
Oh, yeah, no, sure.
All, but last night, I think my body finally
get exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been a little less than that, like 6 hours actually. I woke up pretty early. I forgot that time change. That's me a little.
Okay.
But yeah, normally I'd say 7 hours. Sometimes we have weird bedtimes because we have kids.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I'd say 7 hours.
Okay. Are you currently taking any medication at all? What alcoholic beverages have you had in the last 24 hours? Never drank, ever?
Never.
How come? Is it a religious thing for you?
It's none of that. It's people always ask me. When I was growing up, I always wanted to do healthy things, and I was always playing sports, and I have buddies that were doing good and bad. And
One of the important things about allowing Papini to go through the questions is to observe his body language and manner of speech and see if it is consistent during the actual test.
And I just never wanted to be associated with that stuff, and I don't like the taste of beer. So
I'm with you on that one.
Some people love it, and I just never got it. And to me, the way I think stuff, I never wanted to start alcohol because, there are one or two things. I'm either not going to like it or I'm going to like it. If I like it, it's not necessarily the best thing to do. Plus, it costs a lot of money.
Right.
And there's never been, I'm so glad I drink.
Right.
From a social thing, it's always been kind of awkward. Everybody's drinking up like a root beer or something.
Right.
But I never had a problem with that. I was always like that popular sports guy, so I never needed it to help me relax. Or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, never had alcohol, no drugs, no school. I'll let you ask the questions.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the next question. And keep in mind, I don't care. You're not here for drug allegations, right?
Yeah.
But it may explain erratic reactions
Totally
on the test. So any illegal drugs in the last 24 hours?
No, not last 24 hours.
Okay. Yeah. So no, when I say illegal, I'm talking about crack, cocaine.
Oh, I thought you said legal.
No,
said
illegal. Yeah.
Never in my life.
Never in your life. Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Nothing. Keith, when was the last time that you saw a psychiatrist, psychologist, or any other mental health professional? Okay. Any heart or respiratory problems?
Heart or respiratory.
Right. And then how would you describe your current health? Poor, fair, good, or excellent?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Papini is in good enough shape that he could have easily overpowered his wife and moved the body.
I guess with the exception of like that.
Okay.
I still play basketball. So.
I got you. Okay. What do you know about the polygraph? What have you heard about the polygraph? What are your friends told you about the polygraph?
I know nothing except for you get some stuff hooked up to your fingers. I don't know how advanced this system is, but measure your heart rate. I start. My heart starts racing or something like that. I don't know. It seems like it would anyway in these types of situations.
Sure.
But I know there's like eye ones, but I don't know if that's just on TV, like CSI stuff, voice analyzers and all that.
Right.
I just know it doesn't necessarily tell you if the person's lying or not, but it says something isn't right because something's spiking, if you will.
Okay.
That's my interpretation.
Okay.
Of this.
All right.
I don't know if that's even close, but I've never had one. I've always been interested. I've always been interested in law enforcement. So.
Right.
But I don't. I I think you ask me something and I give an answer. And then if I give an answer and that doesn't have the same printout and however that graph shows you, that it makes you ask more questions around that specific thing and then you go off that way.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Is that close?
It's close enough.
Okay.
Right? All right. So the reason that we use the polygraph, Keith, and the reason why it is so accurate at determining whether or not you're telling the truth or whether or not you're not, is because it measures stuff on your body that you have no control over. Okay? Keith, you already know that you can't just stop your heart from beating whenever you want to, right? You can't just mentally command that or anything like that, right? You can't stop your body from sweating or releasing adrenaline or anything like that. All these things are controlled automatically by your body's autonomic nervous system.
Okay.
Basically by your brain. Right? Now, Keith, any of us can give the outward appearance of telling the truth, right? I mean, I can look at you right now square in your eyes and tell you that the lights in this room are off, it's pitch black in here, and that you and I cannot see each other right now. But Keith, is that the truth?
Of course
No.
not.
The truth is the lights in this room are on, you and I can see each other just fine. But Keith, did I look pretty serious when I told you that the lights in the room? Yeah. So now, Keith, what if I slam my hand down on this notepad and I raise my voice when I tell you that the lights in this room are off? Does that make what I'm saying any more true? No. All I'm doing now is I'm exerting more energy to tell you the same lie.
This is what a lot of suspects do. They repeat a lie more forcefully and at a louder volume, as if that makes them sound more convincing.
So any of us can give the outward appearance of telling the truth. But what we cannot control, Keith, is we cannot control what occurs inside of our bodies whenever we lie. And what happens, Keith, is every time we lie, our brain activates our body's fight or flight response.
Okay.
And the reason for this, and the reason that you and I tell lies in the first place, Keith, is it's because we're afraid. We're afraid of the consequences that may come from telling the truth.
Okay.
So if you look back to any lie that you've ever told in your whole life, whether this was to your parents when you were younger, as far as where you were last night, or who you were with, what you were doing, where you went, what time you got home, or maybe to an ex-girlfriend, whether or not you were cheating on her, whether or not you went out drinking with your friends or partying or whatever. The reason that you told those lies, Keith, is because you were afraid of the consequences that may come. Okay. And telling the truth, even if those consequences are just getting bitched at sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So when you lie, your brain activates your body's fight or flight response. What it's doing is it's increasing your blood pressure, increasing your pulse rate, releasing adrenaline, releasing sweat, increasing your blood volume. And Keith, your body does all of these things automatically every time you lie. It's your body's natural reaction to the fear of getting caught. Okay? Now, just to give you a quick example of this fear of getting caught, Keith, did you ever play hide and go seek as a kid? Okay. Keith, how did your body feel when you were hiding and the person that was looking for you was right around the corner or just on the other side of that door getting ready to find you? How did your body feel?
You kind of try to get quiet, but then your heart, beats, or you can feel it.
Right.
You're noticing more.
Right.
Sweat bodies.
Right. And Keith, what are you afraid of right at that moment?
The detective gives a detailed example of human body's reaction to lying and how the test will pick up on those reactions. It is a more thorough explanation than is usually given.
Getting caught.
Scared of getting caught.
Yeah.
And Keith, in hide and go seek, what's the consequence if you get caught?
It's your turn to go get the other guy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, you're it, right? You're it. So here's a childhood game that you're playing with a bunch of your friends. And the only thing that's going to happen to you if you get caught is you're it. You don't get shot. You don't get taken prisoner. You don't go to jail. You're just it. But you can still remember to this day how your body felt when you were about to get caught in something as simple as a game of hide and go seek. Same thing on this polygraph test. You and I, we're going to go over every single question that I'm going to ask you on this test. You and I are going to go over them together before we ever start this test. Right? So there is not going to be any surprises. There's no tricks. I don't just make up a question in the little test and ask it to you. You're going to know everything that I know before we start this test. So the only fear that you would have in this room today, if any at all, Keith, would be that same fear of getting caught.
Okay.
And that's how the polygraph determines if what you're telling us is the truth or if it's a lie. All right?
Okay.
Keith, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most honest person that's ever walked the face of the earth and has never told a lie in his life, and 1 being just a dirty, rotten liar that lies every time he opens his mouth, where would you put yourself on that scale?
When you ask me these questions and I give you answers, do you want quick or do you want explanation?
But listen, right now, this is just a conversation that you and I are having. This part comes later.
Okay.
All right. This won't come for an hour or so down the road.
Okay.
So right now, I just want you to be honest.
Okay. I think I'm a super honest person. My job entails I lie all day though. Every day I do home theater network and people talk to me and I have to, I'm a salesman. I have to do stuff. So there's that kind of thing. But if you're asking me, I'm going to say I'm up to 8. I mean, that's
okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say I don't make lies. You don't hurt people's feelings. But am I in any way a bad person? I wouldn't. No, not at all.
Okay.
But
Right.
do I never told a lie in my life? Obviously, I'm not a 10.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 8.
All right. Listen, that's right around where I put myself.
Okay.
Listen, sometimes you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes you maybe not want to tell a family member that they're gaining a little bit of weight or that,
Exactly.
that outfit doesn't look good or whatever the case may be or hurt your kids' feelings. So,
Yeah.
So Keith, to you then, what is the difference to you between a little lie and a big lie?
A little lie to me would be it depends how little, but like you were saying, that person's whether they're fat or not fat, I'd say that would be a little lie. And a big lie would be and there's a lot to choose from, but I'm going to go with if your significant other said, where were you were you tonight? And you said, I was playing softball, but really you were screwing some chick or something.
Right.
That to me would be a big lie. And then of course there's multiple, but I would put the big lies in that realm. You're lying about that woman you're sleeping with or something.
Okay.
Because that would, if she ever found out, that would affect your whole
Sure.
marriage or something. So that to me would be a major lie.
Okay. What do they both have in common?
No, you're not telling the truth.
They're both lies.
Oh, they're both lies. Okay, yeah.
And the reason I bring that up, Keith, is that if the polygraph does have one weakness, it is that it cannot tell the difference between a little lie and a big lie.
Even what most people consider to be a harmless fib is still a lie, and there is a sense of fear. No one wants their loved one to know that they weren't listening or that they didn't enjoy a meal as much as they claimed. Even for something that trivial, the body still gives off the same signals. If a suspect lies about something completely benign, the machine has no way of knowing, and the police will become even more suspicious.
All it knows, Keith, is that you're lying.
I got you.
So it doesn't know if what you're lying about is something small and minor that I could really care less about, or if it's something big and major that you should be in trouble for.
Gotcha.
So for the next couple hours, Keith, until we're done here today, I need you to make yourself a 10 on that scale and be 100% honest.
Okay.
Because Keith, if you're only 80% honest with me today, or even 99% honest, you're going to fail this test.
Okay.
Okay? However, if you are 100% honest, if you tell the truth about everything we talk about today, then you will pass this test. I guarantee you. Okay?
Now, if I can ask a question.
Sure.
If there is a question, and it might be something totally remote, according to your thing. I always interpret it that you would ask me more questions based on that one if it gave off some kind of weird thing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So never mind.
How this is going to work, and And
Because I don't want to get 99% and then I fail this thing.
yeah. And Keith, I'll share with you that, like I said, we're going to go over all the questions ahead of time.
Okay.
They're going to be very simple, direct to the point questions. It's not going to be questions about opinions or feelings or anything like that. They're going to be very, very, very to the point
And
questions.
may I ask, wouldn't you want to ask me the first time to get the initial reaction, or is it better to get a thought about reaction?
You know what? Your answer is your answer.
Okay.
So I don't care if it's the first time I ask it to you, or if it's the 50th time I ask it to you. Your body's going to react the same regardless.
Okay.
So
I feel like I'm doing one.
yeah, you are. But it's normal and it's okay. During the actual test, when we get everything attached, I'm going to ask you to sit still, and you're going to sit still because this is important.
Yeah. No, it is important. I will. If you see me doing my knee or something,
You
let
won't.
me know.
You won't, because the gravity of how important this is to you is going to hit you at that moment.
Okay.
And you're going to sit completely still, so I'm not even worried about it. So for right now, fidget as much as you want.
All right.
This is
I've been like this the whole time, just
yeah.
because my wife is just driving me nuts.
Yeah. This is not a comfortable situation to be in. All right, I understand that. So, I want you to be as comfortable as you can be right now. Moving around a lot helps you relax a little bit, and I'm okay with it for now.
Okay.
All right. So, Keith, with all that in mind, man, why don't you start us off? Why are we here today? What happened?
Will tell you the story.
Yes.
Woke up in the morning, left my house
And what day was this? Just so we're on
Um,
the same sheet of music.
Wednesday, whatever that day was. Wednesday. Yeah. Last week, Wednesday. I have to see my calendar some days. I'm all over the place when it comes to
Last week, Wednesday.
Wednesday morning.
Let me just get the date.
Yes.
So we're on the same sheet of music. So last week, Wednesday was November 2nd.
There you go.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay.
November 2nd, wake up, get ready, the kids and my wife are in bed. I usually am gone. They're just getting out of bed or they'll sleep over. I see my wife at the door as I'm leaving. She's around 6:50. Give her a kiss. She's going on her bed. She's just waking up. I drive to work and I have theater installed. So 3 jobs that day, but the first one was a long job. So Daniel, my guy that works with me, we went to that job and we started working on it. We had to mount TVs and do all that stuff. So I came out of the house around 1:30, we'll call it. And I grabbed my personal phone. I usually leave my personal phone in the van because they're going off all day running. And I grab it and it says, "Are you coming home from lunch?" And I'm going to be 100% honest with you because that's what I work at the thing. It had like a little whistle sign on it, meaning she wanted me to come home and have dinner and do our thing. So I responded to that text saying, "Sorry, late day."
It was a seemingly normal text, and one that Papini didn't give a second thought when he first read it. Looking back, it is obvious that Sherry was trying to ascertain if she would be able to leave without getting caught.
It might be a little bit different if you need to see that. But that was like at 1:30 something at this point. So then, no response. I'm kind of notorious for not following up on text. So go to our next job, go to another job, and I'm having all these huge problems with AT&T and my cell phone bill. I have 6 phones on my account. Sherry's, mine, my mom's. She has 2. It's got Rob and my sister, I should say. They were supposed to move all these numbers to a new account, so I was going to get this discount. Well, they didn't. None of this is relevant, but I had a problem. All these bills. So that day, unbeknownst to me, our cell phones got shut off or something happened. I don't even know what time. I'm sure Detective Balls can tell you if you need that. So I get this message from my sister, like, "Hey, is there something wrong with the phones?" And I'm mad at AT&T because they messed up and they like owe me money kind of thing. So after work, I'm going to say 4 something. I'm on the phone with AT&T. They can't figure it out. I go to the AT&T store, and I'm there for 45 minutes just on the phone. They can't do anything. I call my buddy Justin. He works for AT&T in Boise. He doesn't pick up. Dang it. Get in my car, I'm driving home. I get home, I'm going to say it right now, I'll give you the exact time if I look at my phone, but probably, let's call it around 5 o'clock. As I'm pulling up, I see my wife's car like I do every day. So that tells me she's home. I open the door, and normally, Tyler runs to me. I got my little daughter runs to me. And my wife comes over, hug, kiss. What are you guys doing? Let's get dinner going. They usually don't get home around 5, so it's 4:30 or 4. It's a little bit later for me. I don't see anybody, so obviously I'm not like, I don't think they're missing at this point. I just think we have 2.5 acres. So I just kind of pop my head in each room. Hello, Sherry, kid. Hello. So I thought maybe I'd see her, hey, you jumped out. So I'm not seeing anybody. So I text Sherry, where are you guys? No response. I'm thinking, this is weird. And then I'm like, oh, it's Game 7 World Series. What? Oh, I totally forgot. And I remember I turned on the TV and hit record on the game. And then I'm like, I wonder if they're outside. So I'm like looking outside, looking for, we had this like little wagon to pull the kids with. And so I run out to the car and I open the car and I was like, oh, the wagon's still here. That's weird. So then I do find my iPhone. And it shows it at the end of the mailboxes. Oh, they must have went on a walk to the mailboxes. And I'm like, she would walk to the mailboxes. My daughter's 2 years old. And a 4-year-old, I mean, that's kind of a long walk not to have something. She's only 100 pounds and all that she's carrying the whole time, So I call Pandora's, which was like the daycare. And I apologize, she dropped off the kids at like 8:45 in the morning. And then she comes home and cleans and wraps Christmas presents and everything else because she's hardcore into Christmas. Called Pandora and I'm like, hey, what time did Sherry pick up kids today? I'm trying to find out how far along they are on the road. She goes, the kids are still here. This is around 5:30-ish, I think, at this point. It tells me something is definitely wrong. My wife would never not pick up kids, and we get in trouble if the kids stay after 5:30. So I know something's wrong. I know that maybe she is on the road, whatever. So I jump in her car and I haul down there. And I'm just waiting to see her walking down her road. We have horrible cell phone reception where I live. At my house it works because we have internet, and then at the very end of the road you might get a signal too. So cruise down the end road, I don't see her, I don't see anything. Obviously panic mode, so I go to another driveway because there are multiple ways to get to our house. I don't see her there, I flip around, I go back, and I'm like, the phone, it says it's here, but I have no cell phone reception on my phone now, but I remember where they put the dot. So I park the car and I get out and look around it. It didn't even take me that long. I walked over where it kind of made it look like it was. And just sitting right there. And it was face down and then the headphones were kind of crumpled. Not really wrapped, but kind of crumpled. And I mean, obviously at this point, she's gone. Something happened. So I go to grab the phone. I said, no. And I take a picture of it first, exactly how it was. So I took a photo of it, grab it, and I turn it like that. And then her hair's on her. Her hair's in the headphones. And then at the time, I don't notice what the screen says. I just saw that hair, and I still have my phone out when I took that picture. So I took a picture of her phone. I was trying not to get fingerprints all over it. So then I put that in the back of her car, called 911. Called 911, I was like, something's wrong. My wife's not here, she didn't pick up the kids. And there's no way, these situations could happen. There's no way. Get out here. And she's like, oh, roll a car or something. So I'm like, well, I'm going to start going to these people's houses a mile away from my house. And I'm going to start checking these houses right here. And she's like, you got to go home. You have to be home. I was like, I'm getting mad at her. I'm like, no, go here. She's like, Mr. Papini, you got to be home. We're rolling the car. So I jump in my car and whole butt. back to my house, and I'm good friends with he used to be sheriff, he's a police officer now, his Nick. Called Nick Day. Hey, somebody took Sherry. I was like, I called her headphones, there's like her hair's on it. I called 911 and they kind of, they're probably trained to talk calm, but to me they were like, we'll roll a car, like she might be just hiding on the window or something, not taking me seriously. He's like, you need to call back. You need to tell him, you saw hair, this isn't right. He's like, call me back after. Hang up phone, call 911 again. I'm like, you guys need to get out of here. They're like, oh, settle down, somebody's on their way. Called Nick back, and he's like, hey, I made some phone calls. I got like 7 dudes rolling. So I'm sitting there, 7 guys, kind of show up, and where's the phone? Who are you? And then, of course, they go through all the, I wanted to, like, kick doors down everywhere, fine. But that's pretty much the day of that. And then, of course, there's other stuff I keep going for that. But
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then after that, they just, they want to look in your house and they want to look in your safe and they want to look at everywhere. Like, give me whatever paper you need, sign all that. So then they come in, go through every single take pictures. And I'm like, oh, there's a room over here, there's this. Whatever you need. More people show up, we got helicopters going. And then they wanted me to come down here, no problem. Come down here, get the second room, one of the other ones. Go detect the balls. Happened. Then I'm reviewing my phone, or no, they took my phone because I wanted to call. I was like, I think I should call her parents. And no, we'll handle all that. We don't want this to get out. We feel we're ahead of it.
The police normally don't begin searching for adults right away, the exception being the elderly and those with disabilities. Often it is a simple mistake in communication, or the person does not want to be in contact with anyone they know. However, since the children had been left, as well as the vehicle and personal belongings, it was taken more seriously. With the cell phone being found, that was another big indication that the disappearance wasn't voluntary.
The guy might have thought he got away with it or something. You don't understand. I was like, I don't have Facebook or anything, but I'm not trying to be a dick, but everybody in this town knows me. Everybody knows Sherry. As soon as my name hits on social media, it's gonna blow up. So it was only 10 minutes later, and yeah, it's everywhere. So everybody knows about it, so I don't know if that was a game plan or what. Sign all the consent form, take my phone, take her phone, do whatever you need to do. Here's all the passcodes. Give my phone back, and it wasn't until later that night I'm looking at my phone because I took a picture of her phone and it shows my text message saying, long day, but never read because it would show up on your home screen. It was never checked. And then I had another one, I think my sister, and then I had mine from saying, where are you guys? So then it's just me going, okay, she sent me this at 10:37 a.m. I'm like, I'm out for lunch. I replied to her at 1:39, but she never gets it. So I'm like, that's my window. And the rest of it is just search parties and there's millions, thousands of people, which is so grateful for. But coming to the house, and then we're getting all these random stories, some are true, some don't sound right. But from my understanding, what I put together based on what was told to me is she drops off the kids, and I think they have to DVR to give me an exact time. She's on camera dropping off the kids at 8:45 to 9. Comes home, more than likely, works around the house, probably texts me, you come home for lunch, and she doesn't get a response, and then she goes jogging off and on, goes jogging because there's some guys cutting wood. And they think they've seen her running at right around 11, whether it be 10:50 or 11:10, somewhere in there. And we had one other person saying this at 10:54. So I'm thinking all this stuff happened between 10:40 and 12. The rest is just me going crazy, wandering out in the woods and taking any concrete. I can't even get people calling, oh, she's dead in a ditch on this road. Of course, I go chase the lead, and the detective also like, oh, I forgot to tell you, we're going to have all these psychic people telling you all this stuff. So that's, I would say that kind of catches everybody up to what I think of. There's something I missed that they talked about. I'm more than happy to talk about it. But, the phone is definitely found in a weird way. I'm 100% saying that it's weird. It looks like it's placed. It doesn't look like it was thrown. Because we took our stuff out. We were trying to throw it just to make the headphones do what it looked like. I don't know if you've seen pictures or if that's even part of your job if you need to see the stuff. But it's weird. And that's why, and I know my wife.
Sherry placed the phone and headphones carefully rather than throwing them on the ground. She was either caught up in carefully staging the scene, or she subconsciously chose not to damage her belongings since she knew she would be coming back.
It had to have been taken. She's a fighter. There's no way that one dude, unless he was a big guy, without leaving, marks, like a scruffle, if you want to call it that. So I think there's two people. I believe that. I don't think it's somebody from my neighborhood. I don't think it's some random guy driving by. But I do think it's somebody that came into my neighborhood. Unfortunately, I live in an area where there's drug and stuff. So I do feel it's somebody that came in, an acquaintance of somebody. That's it.
Any problems? Any marital issues?
I'm going to say no. And we've been married now for 7 years, and I think every married couple fights. I think that's normal. I would say Sherry does get upset and say some things she doesn't mean, but then she's always quick the next day to be like, whoa, I kind of moved a little overboard. But if you were to ask me if there's issues, no. Definitely. I mean, even the most recent photos on my phone, we had like Halloween, we were setting for Christmas. We just made up from a fight. End of October. They're stupid fights. I didn't even remember what it's about. But no.
We'll get back to that in a second. Who's Ron?
Ron?
Yeah.
Rod?
Rod. Who's the guy? Who's the other person that has a phone on your account?
Rod.
Mm-hmm. Who's he?
He's my mom's call fiance. They've been together forever. Okay. Significant.
Okay. All right. Let's fast forward back to the fight. End of October.
Yes.
What happened there?
You have to give me significant because our fights are stupid. Okay. Our fight was we have a 2-story house, and we have a scrapbook room for her, and then a guest bedroom. And we have more clothes than the whole world combined. We have lots of clothes. And these 2 rooms have been what I would say messy for a long time. My wife got a severance package from AT&T in January. She was doing very well, but she always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so it almost worked out perfect. She got to be a stay-at-home mom and a little extra money to do it. And that's what she always wanted to do, and I thought it was great. And then she felt, going from that, having an adult conversation to kids and a stay-at-home mom, she talked about, giving her some daycare. So then she put our kids in daycare, they were already there. She didn't want to take them out of that, and I didn't either because they were picking up a lot of stuff. They seemed to develop quicker. We're going to have more conversation during the day. Long story short, the argument was about, I was like, hey, those rooms are still dirty. It's been like 7 months or 8 months or 11 or 10 months. And she was like, you don't think I do stuff around the house? And I'm like, never said that. one of these rooms, and Sherry, because her parents are crazy, she's somewhat like her mom, to
Papini describes a typical argument between anyone who lives together. While it is possible for fights like this to escalate into violence, they usually pass quickly and are often forgotten. People close to both Papini and his wife say they never saw any sign of anything wrong in the relationship.
the way she argues, and she gets really loud, and, because she knows I don't like arguing, so she'll get really loud, and I don't want that. So that was what the argument was. I wanted her to clean something. She took it like offensive, like I didn't think she was worth anything or whatnot. She got really loud. She's kind of a slam door kind of a deal. It's weird because I don't like talking bad on my wife, but that's how she deals with things. And I love her, and I signed up for it, so I know how she's going to be. And I just calm down, some kind of a deal. And eventually, when she calms down, she'll come back to it. Sorry, I got a little crazy there. And then she blames her mother. And, she had a horrible upbringing from them. We hug and kiss and tell each other how much we love each other and when they're getting divorced. And that was like 2 days before Halloween. And again, it's not like a split, it's not like we usually sleep in other bedrooms, so it's not like that, but that was the last fight. And it was just disagreeing with the way that she approaches things. I don't like yelling, I don't like bringing attention. I don't like, I would never like yell at somebody and have other people listen later, just, like that. So, that was the last thing.
During that fight, at any time, because I saw some statement somewhere that a neighbor said, they heard you yell, I'm going to kill you. And did you ever make a comment like that?
Definitely.
Listen.
You hook me up right now. I'll tell you, I've never in my life, I don't even like flipping people off. I don't like it. I would never say that. So, right. I wouldn't say that to him. I might say it to the guy, but I would never say it to my wife. You can ask me that question.
Which guy?
The guy that took her. Oh, the girl or whatever it is. Okay. I might say that to that person, but I would never say that to my wife or something like that.
Did she ever, during that fight, did she use any kind of derogatory term to you? Did she call you a pussy or anything like that?
She knows how to hit my button, so she'll go whatever she can at that time.
Has she said that before?
I don't think pussy. I don't think she would call me pussy. She would say, asshole or jerk or something like that. She is both. She'll say whatever, and if that doesn't work, she'll go to the next whatever she can think of to
push buttons.
Yeah, because it takes me a while for her boom just right away. Right. So yeah, I can imagine if a neighbor's heard something, there's probably anything you can think of. Because when she goes too far with me, after I say calm down, and it doesn't go anywhere. And then if I say, and it goes to the next level, because I know that gets under her skin, and it's horrible to say that, but that takes it to a whole other extreme, and then she'll just be like, leave me alone. And I'm like, please, but being a husband, and knowing your wife as you probably know your wife, I know my wife, and the last thing I want her to do is leave the house upset, because years and years and years ago, she would want to drive off, and that's scary for a husband when they're that mad, because again, I know my wife, and I know she doesn't necessarily think straight, because she gets very heightened, very, I'm going to use the term, greatly, in those situations. So, I know now to just give me a hug, love you, breathe, calm down. Some of my conversations now, I'm not going to fucking calm down, So, and it's hard for me to talk like this because it's my wife. I don't want to find her now, talk about her faults, and it's not like I don't have faults,
Sure.
because I don't know how to talk to some people sometimes. But
Although he doesn't realize it, Papini is setting off potential red flags. Many abusers and murderers make their victims out to be unstable while making themselves appear to be the calm, rational partner.
I could personally said that, but kill you, definitely no. Never goes that far. But jerk, asshole, stuff like that. Sorry if I'm going all over.
No, listen,
that I use my hands a lot. I don't know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So when was the absolute last time that you had any communication with her? Whether it's when you send a text and she sent one back, or anything like that.
Confirmation of it. Not just sending something, but not keeping it. That morning, 6:50, right at the door. Okay. Kissed her. She was kind of like just waking up, going back. Last of anything. So I said, the text she sent me. I mean, I did reply to it, but I didn't get the reply.
Right. So, and you replied what you were saying a couple hours later.
Yeah, 1:30. I mean, it's texted right there. So I think it said 1:39.
Okay.
That's when I replied.
And you don't think she got that, or you don't think she
I'm
saw it on the
confident
screen?
She never got that because there are two reasons. When you're at our house, when you send a text, if we both have iPhones, it's blue because it goes through the data. When somebody's not in a good area, it'll go through as green. On my end, mine shows it in green, so that tells me she was already out of the house. And when I grabbed her phone, and I haven't had her phone back, so they know more than I do, but it shows that she hadn't checked it because when I look at that photo, I was like, oh, it's right here. It shows both my texts, and it's not going to show them on the home screen if she's checked it already. So that's how I know she never. Let me know your thoughts too at the end of this thing. Like, you can tell me if you got something to point at. Let me know.
No, listen,
I got nothing.
The last thing I would do is just add more conjecture and guesses to an already, questionable situation. So, what do you think happened?
I think somebody, like I said, came in there one day and they're like, oh, I don't know if you've seen a picture of my wife. It's in my opinion, it's a beautiful woman in the world. And I think she was running. It's not like she's running in like a sports bra and little tiny shorts, like an Instagram model or something. I mean, she could easily be one of those girls, but she's more of like cover up everything in the world type of a girl. But regardless, she's 100 pounds. She's a big boobs or whatever you want to say. So even if she has clothes on, people are looking at her. And I think somebody saw her running. Visiting in our neighborhood. I don't know if you've seen a map or anything where we live. There's no reason to go back. I live on a dirt road. You wouldn't go back there. And
Is where the phone and everything was found on a dirt road?
at the end of the dirt road, because show you whatever you need to see, but and I think two guys. I think two because she watches all the criminal shows and everything. Some weird guy walking up to her. She take it, or she starts screaming. She can whistle louder than anything. Well, something would happen. And I think she's got her headphones in, her noise canceling. Okay. I think she's doing her thing. She's running, and I think two people should go up. I honestly believe that she was knocked out cold. Thrown in, close the door, and you drive off. Now, I can't figure out is the phone.
Sadly, the scenario that Papini describes isn't far-fetched. It happens more often than people realize, and given the relative seclusion of the area, it would be the best explanation for what happened.
Might not be where this all happened. It could have been where I think where we have a road and it's full of keys and there aren't a lot of houses right there. Just one thing. the crack house, but they're always there. It's like a registered sex offender. It's like, this is a bad situation. So, but I think it could have even happened there, and then maybe they were like, oh, crack her phone, and they chuck it out the window, but I can't figure that out because it seems like a phone would have made it different. Somebody's like, well, maybe she got tired and she sat down. I'm like, there's no way my wife would sit there. Why would she ever sit there? And like all the women around, I was like, would you ever stop right here? And they were like, oh no, because there's like a piece of trash. First off, my wife sees a piece of trash. There's no way she's gonna sit right there. And then there was like some weeds. It was kind of a little bit behind the gate, and a telephone pole. And I'm like, there's no way she was saying that. I was like, so I forgot my phone. I think she was taken. I think it was either one big guy or two, and I say that because she's only 100 pounds. But
Sherry would later lie to the police, stating that she was taken by 2 Hispanic women who kept their faces hidden.
I mean, her mother, I mean, if somebody grabbed her wife, she's gonna go crazy, and somebody's gonna hear. So that's why I think it was 2 guys, or she got knocked out, or like a taser, something to make it to where she wouldn't be able to scream, because no one said we heard you scream. Or, and one of my best friends, like a pharmacist, I said, you know, some kind of drug you can, knock somebody out right away. And he's like, well, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. It's hard to get, and it would take like, a minute or something. It's not like boom. I don't know. So I think it was 2 people or 1 big guy, and I think she gets knocked out. And I think she's unaware. She didn't see it coming. Or 1 guy goes, hey, and she takes her headphones off, and the guy comes up behind her. So I just don't see Sherry. She would have ran and screamed. There's no way. Picked up a rock or something. I mean, there's no way she would have been like, oh, I'll get in the shit, you guys thing. That would never happen.
Right. So you're at work you leave at 6:50, right?
That particular day, like 6:50.
All right.
So around 6. Because I got to work a little earlier. And again, if we need exact times, everybody's got a camera when I go to work. So.
Yeah. What time did you leave work that day?
I left work around 4-ish. And I went to AT&T across the street. And I left there around 4:40 something. It was a big waste of time.
And where do you work?
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Just across the street.
And when you were at this job, or you mentioned something about a partner or whatever, do you work on a partner on every job, or?
Not every job, but one of my other agents, Kyle, just recently had a baby, so he's been home. So we were been partnered up for these. I work with him, I train him. So we have a small crew, and right now it's only 2 guys. I don't know what to do now. It's only 2 guys. I write by myself certain days, and certain days I write 2. And on this particular day, it was me and Daniel. We got 3 jobs. And what we say is the first job is a 2-man job. The other 2 jobs we had after that were technically what 1 person could do. But we were together the whole day in the same vehicle.
So when you got back to, you actually worked out at Best Buy?
Correct.
Okay. So you got back to Best Buy at what time do you think that day?
Probably 3:30.
Okay.
Yes. So again, though, I got weird. It got weird because I had to call AT&T, and I was on the phone with them for who knows how long. I could probably give you exact times if
That's all right.
not.
Any chance Sherry pulled a gun, girl? Any chance she?
No. I mean, trust me. After I ran through everything, I was like, could she have?
On March 3, 2022, Sherry Papini was arrested by the FBI, accused of lying to federal agents and faking her kidnapping to spend time with her ex-boyfriend, away from her husband and family. 6 weeks after her arrest, Papini signed a plea deal admitting that she had orchestrated the hoax. In September 2022, she was sentenced to 18 months in prison and fined $300,000. On the same day, she was arrested on federal charges. She and her husband separated. In April 2022, a few days after Sherry pleaded guilty to fraud charges, Keith filed for divorce from his wife and for sole custody of their children. That'll do it for today. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below where you can do just that. Thank you for watching. Stay safe